Alright, Chapter 7, the complete point system. Like a simple point count with a complete point count with a high-low system has occurred independently to many of the reader of the beat of dealer have with the personnel, with the scientific public, with the Harvey Dubner, with the Simon's Precision Product Corporation, Tarrytown, New York. Dubner presented his result of the panel session of the 1963 fall joint computer conference, national semi-annual meeting, thousands with the computer expert. Time of the conference with Las Vegas with Nevada. The panel session was used of the computers to study with the games of kill skill with the chance. Leading experts from the field talked to their work with analyzing such games as blackjack, baccarat, roulette, and go on. Besides Dubner of the panels were Julian Braun of the IBM Corporation. Braun detailed blackjack calculations based on his extensive refinements of my original computer program, and most accurate with the assistance of the kindly allowed to be used throughout. This revised edition, Richard E. Sprague with the director of the computer system, Tasha with the Ross, the Biley and Smart, William E. Walden of the Los Angeles Scientific Laboratory, now director, Compelling Computing Center, University of Omaha. He and I joined the development of the system of the Nevada Baccarat and our winnings force of the casino to remove the certain formerly profitable bets from the layout and lay-in. Ellen N. Wilson of the Casino Gambler Guide's recent coverage of the principal casino games reader for the books, but with the interest of comparing Wilson's lengthy cover of the blackjack theoretical marks were made with the Robert E. Cabal, a mathematician of the RAND Corporation and expert of the gambling system and the Kelly system. I was the moderator of the panel session. As an enthusiastic, Dubner made with the claim for the complete point count system, the calculations were that his claim that his play with the casino's low stake during the computer conference were very successful. His interest in other experts with the route of the Braun he had made with the detailed calculations. Computer techniques were based on the method developed with the workout with the 10-count strategy of the first edition. Although he showed that there was some inaccuracy for the details of the Dubner's result, the Braun found that the complete point count system was powerful to effect with winning blackjack. Exactly how much better or worse it was than the can count method is not known, but they are comparable to power of the error of the casino countermeasure. Tightening rules, dealers were finally learning that count card's complete point count was like with a new weapon at the beginning with probably read enough through the 10 count chapter, then achieve the eve of the complete point count and or 10 count first powerful winning strategy to be master for these already proficient in the 10. Count completely point count variable the alternative strategies should be also learned if possible. The counting of the cards for the incomplete point count with a simply perfect with a refinement simple point count with the first step of the have the exact count with a rather than rough idea of the number of the unplayed cards. So we'll need to remember the two numbers, the total cards as before and the total unseen card with the count with the total unseen cards is quite simple for the one deck. Start with a count of 52. Each time you see one of the cards used to play, subtract 1 from the current total. If the card is played, you don't see the one reason for the another. Not change with the total unseen cards, adjust the total. So if you see the burn card or a dealer flashes at the bottom of the card. When we wear only the counting of the total points for the card is counted on the time during after the play of the hand, but the only important thing is was the total point of the count available in the time decided how much bet on the next deal, but they could even wait until the hand was over the count with the card at all once. We can still do this when all the counting, both the total unseen cover the total points provided with us. We use the information merely to arrive at the proper bet size. We'll still play hands on the basic strategy. When we want to use the card counting information, verify the strategy of the playing hands, and improve it on the basic strategy, we will still count on this way. That will be still better with adjust the count as soon as we see with the card. Without waiting, the method of the counting is called the running count with something like the full court or press. If it's on basketball, you can count the totals always ready. You don't let up except for the cards are completely reshuffled and the dealer changes on your change of the game. Naturally, running count is more tiring if it's easier for you to use it, if it is best. If it's counting is hard for you and you don't worry, figure out the easiest way to count, but you use that. Your result of it will almost be good. Perhaps they will even be better making because you will likely to make a mistake. However, here is how. We use the new count to decide with the bet side of the divide with the point total with the total unseen card. For example, the one deck of 5, 5, 3, 8 fell on the point with the total of the problem being 3, positive 3, 48 cards remaining unseen. So we get with the 3 over 48 with about 6 thousandths of the finding. The earliest thing to do is to estimate the nearest percent. In this case, it would be 6%, and because of that, and because the change of the percent means multiply by 100, I call this the final number of the highest low index. If the same procedures have been seen with the two complete shuffle decks that we have with the 3 plus 3 points plus 104 minus 4, where 100 unseen cards, high lows, index of 3. If there are 4 decks to start with the ace, 10, 10, 10, 9, 8, 8, 10, 8, ace fell on the high-low index, you'd have negative 6 over 193 or 3%, negative 3%. The bets. Bet 1 unit for every high-low index of 3 or less. For a higher-low index of 4, bet 2 units in general. Bet half of the index favorable situation, index 6. Bet 3, index 8. Bet 4, index 10 or more. Bet 5. For index values between these, you can shape the bets up and down with your pleasure. For example, the index you make with a better corresponding index, either 4 or 6. Either with 2 or 3 units for this, with the betting no more than 5 units, and even when the index is over 10, simply with the casino to get excited if you do. Trolling and stealing. The basic strategy is the best way to play again with a complete deck, where some of the cards are missing. We know that there's something about it, but we can easily improve with the basic strategy. There's simply an unrealistic example, so the game is being dealt with a 4 well-shuffled decks, and the only card left of the 4s are smaller. The player should draw a hard 17 no matter the dealer's up card. This sharp contrast on the basic strategy recommendation, standing on a hard 12 against an up card of 4 or 5 or 6. To use the table 7 and 1, you look at the square corresponding with the dealer's up card with a hard total. If you see with a draw or stand, things are easy to suppose. Instead of you find with the index number that you stand in the air index greater than one of the table, that if your index is less than or same with the one in square you draw. For example, suppose if the dealer show for the 10 and you have the hard 13, the table show for the draw, no matter what your index. So suppose that you get a 3 and you now have a hard 16. If your index is 0, 2 and or less, draw. If more than 0, 2, stand. Warning: minus indexes or less plus indexes using greater than or less, and for less than, and we have general, less than negative 3, less than 0, less than 0, 1, less than 0, 1, less than 0, so on. So large index minus is less than small index of the minus. This means that the readers will not use the negative numbers. Alright, table 7 of the team, give it the drawing of the training strategy for the top hand of the read with the chain with the table 7 of the 1, note for the top straight with the chain with the basic strategy set for 3 cases with soft 17 against the 7 index grade with the 29 stand with the basic strategy stays drawn. 2. Soft 18s against the 10 index greater than 12 stand the basic strategy says draw. 3. With soft 18 against an ace and an index of 0.6 is less or draw, the basic strategy says stand. The first 2 exemptions are quite rare. Actually play with maybe the neglect of becoming until you become an expert. Some of the negative 6 fairly close on 0. Simply the third exemption of the signing of the hit is off with a double 18 against the ace of the deck with a moderate unfavorable total. The result of the table 7-2 can be simplified to the 4. The drawing standing on soft hands play with the strategy with the 1 exemption with the soft 18s against ace hit when the deck is moderately unfavorable. Doubling down. The doubling down strategy that hits hard hands appear with the table 7-3. No, with the double down with the total hard hand, hard 5, sometimes best play. Such facts were undreamed of until only recently. Notice that the more favorable and the deck more likely we are to double down your index larger than the table entry, but now double down with your index less than the table. Table 7-4, when you give it the strategy with the half doubling reading in a similar way, once again, the more favorable the deck with the more frequently with the double down soft totals with the greater the profits. Pair splitting. Table 7-5 gives you the strategy for pair splitting with a high-low index. The insurance index is greater than 0.8. Insurance should be taken. Otherwise, it should not be taken. A more detailed discussion of insurance will be made 106-11. Advantage frequency of the favorable situation. Figure 7-1 illustrates how players advantage change with the index change with the notice of the play game. Insurance with the produces. Also, entry of the plane gets more when index positive, and he loses when it's negative. That's because the player can have his trades, therefore he can have some extent reduce the disadvantage he gets from the poor decks. He can also increase the advantage he gets from the good decks. Figure give the impression that if the index is negative enough, the player remains at the advantage of the impression with correct with the situation rare and play with a simple table of 4-1 show for the same some of the situation. For example, the quantity of 10s are 0, given an index of negative 16 over 36, they were a negative 44%. Otherwise, full deck will have the player edge of the 1.62%. However, the advantage situation when the index of a negative 44 is still a disadvantage of the player, indicated with the figure 7 and 1, the index of negative 100, in which the case of the remainder of the deck consists of the cards having a value of 2 through 6 only. Player always has an advantage of averaging something like 50%, and depending on the precise cards remaining. Alright, table 76, giving an idea on how often the various values of the index various advantage actualize actual play with note the chance of the various negative values of the index. Exactly balance challenge for the corresponding positive value to illustrate you for the table the note of an example. The 5 cards have been dealt the index between 0, 5, 15, and 15, 9.5% of the time, and then between negative 5 and 0, 5, 81% of the time, and it's between negative 15 and 0, negative 5, 9.5% of the time. Chapter 8, a winning strategy based on counting tens.